Hello, hello, hello. This is CJ Benavides at Alamo Audible, and I'm here with Faye Wilbricht, the volleyball player from UTSA who transferred from this past season from Texas A&M University. It is nice to have you on here, Miss Faye.
You for having me.
Well, today I want to discuss a few topics, specifically the kind of culture y'all are establishing going into this season. Now, I know y'all have played a couple of games already. I think four, if I'm correct.
Three.
Three. Okay. Three, and that was the invitational, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, and I was looking at, y'all's record right now. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I'm very excited to see what y'all do as the season progresses because as y'all have already played Texas Southern, Missouri State, and Texas A&M Commerce. And so what kind before the season even started, like what culture did y'all set up to um as the season started, what kind of culture did y'all want to establish or have it progress more into the regular season?
So for us, I think it like really started in the summer, honestly. Like when we go to like open gyms.
Mm,
So just get to like learn each other, just like not even like as volleyball players, but just like
mm,
as people mates. So I think it started there. And then I think our culture was just kind of like, all right, there's a lot of new people. So it's not so much like, oh, it's 10 seniors and one new person. So I feel kind of awkward, like, oh, I don't
mm.
know if I can it's like a lot of new people.
Yeah.
So we all felt like, oh, we're kind of like the
Mm,
new girls. So we kind of had that little connection, if you will, already. And then we were like, okay, well, we're just gonna help each other out since we're all new and we're all trying to figure it out. So I think that was like our biggest
mm.
thing to help like connect us with our cultures, just like we're gonna help each other out one by one. Little things, whether it's, school or just like learning how to like time manage or even like within volleyball, just helping each other out. I think that's what brought us together in our
That's
culture.
fantastic. That's awesome. That's awesome to hear that. I always like seeing the leadership being set, before the season starts and the camaraderie of teams starting before the season even starts. It's really great to hear. It's great to hear that y'all are on a track that y'all want to be on as the season progresses because some teams they struggle to even start that or even find it before the season starts and while the season's even going.
Mhm.
So this is really great to hear that what you're saying. And so, um, transitioning from that, I know that you are from Texas A&M University, transfer, and I kind of wanted to get poke your brain a little bit on what made you choose UTSA. Like, what stood out to you compared to, I'm sure any other universities that wanted to have you, or you were interested in others. Um,
Mm,
before UTSA, seeing UTSA and all that. So I was curious to see what you had to say about that.
yeah. So UTSA, of course, I'm from San Antonio. So this school is kind of crazy. It's like my very first volleyball camp that I ever went to was UTSA.
Oh.
So it was kind of crazy. And so I was just kind of thinking about, all right, first of all, like, do I want to stay in Texas? I was like, okay, yes. Like I want to stay. Like Texas is great. I like being in the hot weather. I can't do cold. So, and then I was just thinking about like the how do I say it's like up and coming schools, I guess. Not that UTSA has ever
Hmm.
been bad, but just thinking about
Hmm.
because I was like, okay, searching up like what schools, and I was thinking about okay, like San Antonio, like what's there. And then UTSA was like the first school that popped into my mind.
Hmm.
And so I remember getting on the phone with, or emailing and then getting on the phone with Casey and kind of talking to him about it.
Hmm.
Um, I got invited for like an official visit. But I think what stood out to me was just kind of like bringing it back home. Because a lot of times, of course, A&M was 3 hours away. So a lot of my family couldn't come watch. It was just like my parents. And I think, again, yes, bringing it back, like this is my very first camp ever. My like a lot of my family can come and watch me play. And then UTSA is a great school. Like we've been getting, they've been doing really good with athletics, especially with football. And then like having the race built because when I came to camp,
Hmm.
of course, built. So just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think because too, as I saw, I was like, okay, they have like a lot of new people. Like it won't be that hard for me to like mesh because again, we're like new, so we're gonna be helping each other versus like coming into a program where it's
Mm.
like all these girls have been playing together for the past 4 years. Not that you can't, but it would be
Yeah.
a lot the team that's been together forever. So I think that's my biggest thing why I chose
That's
UTSA.
awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that you always kept this place in the back of your mind because I'm sure you didn't know the possibility of coming here while you were putting your time in and College Station. That's really cool to hear. I know a lot of people from San Antonio, they go out and then they eventually, sometimes they come back regardless if it's, sports or just, wanting to come back to UTSA uh, for schooling. And it's really cool to hear that, like somebody's from the 210 even considered coming back. That's fantastic. And I appreciate, that's awesome. It's awesome to
Yeah.
hear. I always love hearing stories like that. Um, so I guess I wanted to take your take too on so this conference realignment thing is pretty crazy nowadays. The teams are going to almost non-geographical locations, but UTSA has found itself in a pretty good geographical realignment with the AAC. And I kind of wanted your take on the future conference games coming up in the near future. I know y'all haven't really played any like in conference yet, but I'm pretty sure down the road you definitely will. And I
For
kind of
sure.
just wanted to pick your brain on how you feel on the situation being in the AAC.
Well, I remember when I heard about it too. Casey was telling me like when I was being recruited. Oh yeah, we're gonna be moving here. I was like, oh okay. So that was another thing that just made me excited to come here. But I think it's a really good thing. Not only did we have like now like 19 conference
Hmm.
tournaments, so I'm able to play volleyball in conference as
Hmm.
long as I can. And I think that it's also very nice, like the other schools. So, like SMU and UNT, a couple of my teammates from A&M who transferred, they also transferred to those schools.
Hmm.
So, and I know those are very good schools to play against. So I think it not only like challenges us, like
Hmm.
as a school, like for all sports, not just
Hmm.
volleyball. Of course, I do, and I also like traveling too. I think it's cool to like go to different places, just like
Hmm.
within the different schools. But I'm excited for this conference. Like, I think people are gonna like beat up on each other. Like I don't like I feel like people think that's like, oh, like
Hmm.
it's not Big Ten or Big 12,
Hmm.
like whatever, athletic American. I'm like, we have very good schools and very good teams. Like I think it's gonna be very good, very competitive, and people are gonna like actually like,
Hmm.
wait, okay, wait, these are actually some good. This is not bad at all. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's gonna be good and
Hmm.
competitive.
As the season has started, have you guys ever put like any interest on like a specific team as the season has started to progress in this new American conference? Have you like do y'all have like a team marked down where you're like, this is the one, this is the matchup we want, at this certain time, we want to be this by that time, and is there a team like that, or are
I
y'all just
think
pushing?
I think for us, like at least like our
Hmm.
team, what we've been talking about, like the girls, we definitely been talking about Rice,
Hmm.
how we definitely
Wow.
want to
Okay.
Rice. And I don't know if you had saw, but
Hmm.
last night they played against Louisiana, the Raging
Hmm.
Cajuns, and they got swept at home
Yeah.
3. So that was just like another big, like our whole like team group chat was like
Hmm.
texting, like, oh my gosh, like they just got beat. That's like definitely like I feel like for our team,
Hmm.
anyways, like our school, like we're really trying to like beat, and that's like our number one competitor in our mind for
Hmm.
at least I think Rice.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. That's cool. Because I'm sure, every sport you have like that one opponent where you're like, I want to play him, I want to beat him, and it's got to happen. Well, that's
Mhm.
really cool to hear because I'm looking at your schedule, because y'all have like the Roadrunner Classic coming up, and these teams look very interesting. I mean, Lamar, Delaware, Tarleton State, and then you start, dipping into different invitations, and then we start hitting conference. And I'm excited to see what y'all pull out by the end of the season because it's a whole new landscape, not just for football, but for, volleyball, golf, basketball, tennis. It's a whole new landscape. There's so many possibilities. Like we have
Right.
no idea. So y'all are literally y'all are writing it in stone essentially in this new conference. You and a bunch of other athletic programs. It's going to be very awesome to see. It's going to be very awesome to see. Um, as we talk about uh, coming to UTSA, was there anything that struck you as like when you were coming to UTSA, what was like something you were like, wow, like besides the race facility, uh
Mhm.
yeah, besides the race facility, was there anything like that stood out to you that made it different from A&M? Like, I know it's your
Right.
homegrown here in 210, but was there anything here you were like, wow, like it's just so different. It's so much more different from College Station.
For me, I mean, it's probably gonna sound super cliche,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but when I met the girls, I would
Mm-hmm.
say like because they instantly like came in for a hug. Oh, hi, like nice to
Yeah.
meet you. Like I'm Faye. It was just like them, like meeting
Mm-hmm.
them. Like I felt like already welcome, even though I was just on a visit. It wasn't even
Yeah.
like I was part of the team yet. I think the girls just like, and even the coaches
Mm-hmm.
too. Like I wasn't like, because sometimes when you're in like a coach's office and you have to feel like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm great. I have to make sure I'm like. It felt very relaxed. Like I didn't feel like they were like like oh head coach is like threatening over me. Like
Yeah.
it was a very cool conversation with all of them. So I just think like the people, like the staff and the players, it was just like wow. Not that like A&M didn't have that, but I
Mm-hmm.
think I felt it more here
Mm-hmm.
with girls. And again, a lot of them are like aren't from San Antonio. Like we
Mm-hmm.
have like Canada,
Mm-hmm.
Turkey, like from the Northeast.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really even has to do anything with like San Antonio people.
Mm-hmm.
Girls in general were just like very warming, and it was just like, okay, wow, like this is very nice. This is a team I could easily just like go into seamlessly and
Mm-hmm.
play with.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's really cool to hear. Again, I'm excited to see where this season goes for y'all. I mean, this is absolutely it's exciting because I mean, y'all already 3-0, you know.
I,
And I'm sure it's exciting. I'm sure it's exciting, and I can't wait to see y'all play Lamar this upcoming Friday. Is there anything that you want to say as the season progresses? As in like you speaking for your team right now. Is there anything you would like to say to the audience listening? Is there something to say you want to like watch out for us, or just uh expect the unexpected or something like that?
I think for sure, yes, like expecting the unexpected
Hmm.
because I don't know if you had saw, but like in the poll for like
Hmm.
the conference of like who's going to be like number
Hmm.
one,
Hmm.
voted last. We did
Yeah.
not got the least amount,
Hmm.
and which of course that just makes us the underdog. Hey,
Yeah.
you don't think we
Absolutely.
have transfers,
Hmm.
whatever. But
Hmm.
I think, yeah, it's just like expect the unexpected because
Hmm.
we're already 3-0. Like we're showing that we can do stuff. We're a whole new team. And so what? We're working perfectly together with each other. So I think people just need to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Yeah. And yeah, I was looking at those projections too. And that was always little mind turning, always get in your head a little bit. But I think a lot of athletes know better when you get to college, not even look at it,
Worry
don't
about
even
it.
give it the time of day to think about it. But it's really good to hear that y'all are grinding, y'all are pushing to outmaneuver those silly projections, because sometimes those things are just uh they're just rat poison. And so I'm really glad to hear that y'all got y'all's minds right, and you're ready to take on anybody that sits in front of you in the court. So that's awesome to hear. I'm really glad to hear that from you. Um, is is there anything that you would say you would like to see um for yourself improve in something into this season? Is there something that you specifically set out before this season started within yourself to improve yourself in something, either on the court or even off the court?
For me, it's my coach. You're gonna love this one, but for me, it's definitely my passing.
Mm-hmm.
That's one to see progress.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I've never always been like the perfect passer, which I don't need to be. I just need
Mm-hmm.
to get it up in front of the 10-foot line. It's like
Mm-hmm.
my goal season is to get it high enough.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I run the middle, that's good enough for me. So that's my, it's just getting a
Yeah,
high better.
that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. I'm glad you have goals, you have things you want to do, you and your team have things you want to do. It's all a culmination. The small things make the bigger picture, and I'm really glad to hear that you have the small things getting together, and hopefully that bigger picture comes together very soon, either by the midseason or postseason. So I really hope y'all have the absolute most fabulous season this year. We'll
Thank you.
be watching closely here at Alamo Audible. Uh, and I just want to thank you, Miss Faye Wilbricht, for joining us here at Alamo Audible today.
Thank you for having me.